right, I think we're going to be back in business, so I'll let you guys get into the chat and we'll try this again. What's up, JD? Good to see you. JD's first on the restart. All right, I want to make sure everybody gets in. I almost feel like I need to do another email to our iMusic Academy team, but we'll see what happens. We're public, so we should be good. Good to see you, Vicky, as well. All right, everybody, get your bass lines ready. We're going to talk about some awesome things. I think we're good to go, Rick. Sometimes it takes a restart. Awesome. All right, guys, as people get into the chat, again, we're going to talk about bass lines, and I went ahead and I added this course to the newest bundle, and this doesn't apply for all of our iMusic Academy members. I even sent this in our YouTube channel membership, this course, and I will send you guys the most updated version of this just so everybody has it, but we created a new index for it, so it's really, really nice and solid. And the reason I added this to we have a 6-course bundle now for like $59. I'm telling you that on the front end because some of you have taken advantage of that. I'm not talking to our members, but like Ami, which I hope Ami's able to come in. He got the bundle and he's already started going through it, and I think he really is liking it. And he's checking us out to see if he might want to become a member. So we welcome Ami today, and also Albi. I think I'm saying his name right, but he'll let me know. But he also got the bundle yesterday. So thank you guys for investing in the bundle, and always thank you to our iMusic Academy members and our subscribers and our Chord Academy. You guys are awesome. All right, so let's pull up this thing and let's talk about muscle memory. The first thing about muscle memory is it is something you practice with both hands. Like sometimes we're doing this. We have this. Blues volume 1 through 4 is this bass line right here. And before we get into the different bass line variations, it's important to know that one right there, and that's actually not the easiest bass line in the world, right? You have C, G to C, A, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and the key to that one is make sure you never drag your bottom note, 1 and 2. Sometimes I'll have students do like this, and they're trying to do the rhythm, but they're not picking up the bottom C. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And notice I'm slow right now on doing that. Now, I will give you a couple of really important bass line tips and even some blues tips that will really help you lock the hands up. One of those is this. You can play anything slow and straight. We talk about that all the time. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that's one of my tips for learning how to lock up the hands and getting your bass lines together. Because if you think about your swing feel and you're trying to be really loose, for a lot of you, if you're especially on the beginner side of things or intermediate even, that feels really weird to be kind of loose. But what's really happening is you're thinking 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then, or 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2. So it's an eighth note line, but it's based on triplets. Now that's one of the things that will really help you if you start to think 1 and then 2 and then, so the first beat gets 2 beats, 1 and then 1 and then you repeat it with the third beat of the triplet. Now at iMusic Academy, we always usually have a very interactive chat. People are commenting in the chat, and even our new people hanging out. So make sure that you say hello in the chat and say say hello to each other. And I would love your feedback as we go through this, because I'm giving you a bunch of tips that are going to be very helpful that I want to make sure that you learn. So again, good to see you, JD. Good to see you, Vicky. Good to see you, Rick. And good to see you, Vance. So I'm hoping that the rest of our academy will show up here. I know I had to do a restart. And Vance is okay. He has his coffee. He's good. All right, so if you guys understand that triplet idea, then put got it in the chat. It's a good thing to practice. 1 and then 2 and then. Make sure you like this video as well. The more you like the videos, the more you comment on the videos, the more it helps our channel, which is really growing lately. Okay, so you have that idea. Another important thing is this idea of slow and straight. I recommend this all the time. If you want to learn how to lock up the hands, practice things with hands together. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And even slow it down even more. 1 and 2 and 3. So from my classical studies, that was one thing I learned about how to, I just think of everything in a classical setting. When you learn how to lock up your hands on a classical piece, you're doing the same thing. You're learning, like, where do the beats line up? And notice that this is all grid based. It's very, you can play even. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And it's only later you can go 1 and then. Even that's a great thing to do. 1 and then. Or some of you like to do 1 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. I've always done 1 and then. And the way that looks on sheet music, I like to do 1 and a plus means and in music. So 1 triplet or 1 and I always do that. 1 plus and then a U for 1 and 2 and 3 and But as a beginner or an intermediate player, I want you to do this. Okay, so let's just say that you have the blues volumes, which if you're on this thing, everyone, I think, except for maybe JD, and I don't even know if JD has purchased the courses or not, but I'm talking to our members and people who've been hanging out with us for a while. This bass line right here is like a first 3 volumes of the blues volume is this right here, this rhythm right here. You can also do this in quarter notes. So, and some of my members really like that because it's a really simple, groovy kind of sound. Now let's talk about this course, this blues bassline course. I had this idea several years ago of I was coming up with all these bass lines, and I thought, well, how can we, one, lock up the hands so that it's not confusing and we're not doing too many things in the right hand, so we can really focus on the left hand and locking up the hands. So that's how this idea of Blues Basslines Volume 1 came to be. And just so you guys are aware, I think we have about 27 bass lines that we do at iMusicAcademy. I've done with various students. They're all written out, except for I've only done a volume 1. I may do a volume 2 and just compile the other ones we've done. We still haven't done the Ray Charles one, which we'll do a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about Ray Charles bassline here in a little while. But let's go through the course. So what I thought I'd do, even for our non-members and for 4th of July, in addition to having that crazy bundle, I added one more course, and that was because Ami, who got the bundle, he got the bundle, but I gave him this course anyway. The people who bought the course yesterday, I just said from now on we're going to do this blues bassline, alternate bassline course, because Ami really wants to work on locking up the hands, and so that's partly about part of what we're talking about in the lesson today. Look at this alternate bassline number 1, and you guys, just so we're clear, if you're a new member or you're not familiar with the way all of my courses work, you have an index that's clickable. As soon as you get the course or the bundle, all of the PDFs look like this. You have an index, and anywhere you want to go, you just click on it and it'll take you right there. If you want to watch the training, you click that and it'll take you to a private YouTube playlist with all of the exactly how to play it, and each one is very detailed in how it works. So, and if you want to go back home, you want to go back to the index, you just click that. So that's how the PDFs work. They work great on your iPad. I go to see my dad all the time. He has his iPad pulled up, and it looks fantastic on an iPad computer. And if you turn your phone sideways, it works there as well. And you can print them out. I don't recommend maybe print out an exercise or two if you want to just have it on your piano, but just using the digital versions is a great way to go. So look at this first example. Now this is sort of our island groove, and Ami was asking me last night about, or this morning about the grooves. Do we have different names? Well, I know that's like a blues. Some people call that even a boogie woogie, but kind of a shuffle blues, right? And then you could go, I call them quarter note blues, and I call this a second line feel. So if I go, I also think of an island groove when I'm doing that. But it's 5, 3, 1. So certain bass lines, I do know what they are. Like that's a boogie woogie, or that's kind of a traditional boogie woogie sound, played a little slower. And then there are this kind of boogie woogie, right? But for some of them, I don't even know the names of them, and I don't know if anyone does. They're just really important patterns. So as we look at this one, I call this the second line groove or an island groove. That's what it makes me think of. This chorus has one lick in the right hand, and you guys know at iMusicAcademy, this is sort of the lick that started it all, that got us to 1 million views on one of our videos. And notice what I'm doing. It's just minor third to major third, and goes to the 4 chord, which is a F triad in second inversion, my favorite inversion of a triad, up to a C7 without the third. Now, let me just look at the chat here. I want to make sure everything looks good on your screen. We're going to keep talking about this. All right. Awesome. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and yeah, JD, I'll have to go back and look. But yes, I don't know which ones you've purchased, but we have done a lot of new volumes lately for sure. Okay, so now let's keep going here. This idea of getting this right hand lick down, that is step 1 to this blues alternate bass line course. Now, you don't have to play that one lick. Again, we're building up muscle memory in the left hand and really getting things together. But what I've noticed is that people are getting a whole lot of success by using this idea of focusing one idea in the right hand that you get going, which is not super easy to get. Like you have to work on getting this together. And some people use 2-3, like I use 2-3 to 2-4 to 3-5. Some people like 2-4. They like to do 3-5 on everything, which is another good fingering. You can use that. For me, I like 2-3. Some people like 3-5. But whatever fingering works comfortable for your hand, and everybody has a different hand shape and hand size, so we can always make it work. But that is the lick. So when you lock up this first example, 1 and 2 and, the first thing I look up is where does that first 1 and 2 and lock up. 1 and 2 and there it is, the E with the C. And then where does it happen again? It happens with the F and A against the G. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Now, if you understand of how we are actually doing this, make sure you put this in the chat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I have a really important tip that will change your life in just a second. Your musical life. I mentioned this the other day, but I think we need to go ahead and talk about it. When we play the blues, and I'll just do a traditional thing really quickly. I'm not using pedal. I'm not using pedal down there, right? I'm not mashing the pedal down. It's not going to sound great if you add it. Listen how bad it'll sound if I just mash down the pedal. Right? It doesn't make any sense. For blues and jazz, often we're not using the pedal, but there are ways that we can really connect the lines and the chords. Watch this. I'll do it. Keep going. And what I'm doing is I'm sort of using a pedal kind of transition with my thumb of where I'm going next. So watch this when I go. I'm on the C chord. I'm about to go to the F chord. Watch this. So I go to where I'm going. The F is my transition. I'll slow it down again. That's where I'm going back to the C. Now I'm going to go to the G chord. Watch this. Right? I went. Here, I'll do it one more time. And there it is right there. I'll slow it down. There's Jeffrey, the most consistent man at iMusicAcademy. Jeffrey, always good to see you. I can always count on Jeffrey, and for years and years, he's been supporting iMusicAcademy. Okay, so do you guys understand what I did there with the using my thumb to get wherever I'm going? Now, the good thing about all of these volumes is that it shows you exactly where that happens. But if I'm playing a traditional blues, I'm not going to finish the lick and then try to get up to the F chord. I'm not going to go. No, you use the last note, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and to go where you're going. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and. Now watch this, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. My whole monitor's shaking. That's how much I'm enjoying hanging out with you guys and playing really hard into the keys. That's pretty funny. Oh, let me push this back. Yeah, Jeffrey is always supporting iMusicAcademy, has been forever. Good to see you, Jeffrey. All right, so let's keep going. If you guys are with me, understand that little pedal tip, that's good. But let's go back to this kind of island groove here. And talk about this again. So notice that the sheet music does this 4 times, and watch the very last one, 3 and 4 and 1 and right there. That's the key. The and of 4. You'll see that you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now watch the end. Here we go. And. Now watch on the G, and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So, to break this down, then we're going to go on into another example in just a second, but watch this. 1 and 2 and. That's a win right there, getting that E against the C. And 2 and. And if I need to go slow and straight, I'm going to go like this. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then once again, it happens on the F and A. Now, here is the last thing I'll say about this specific bass line, is this works whatever key you're in. It's just 5, 3, 1. I could go to F, I could go to G, I could go to F sharp, I could go to E. It's the same thing. And then notice what happens. If I'm in the key of G, I'm doing the same muscle memory as that I did when I was on C. Same exact muscle memory, so it's going to be easy. If I'm in the key of F, same fingering. Even when I go to the B flat, it's the same muscle memory. Isn't that amazing? So that's why I love for you guys to really dig into a specific bass line, even in a specific key like the key of C. And you know that all 4 of my blues volumes on purpose do the key of C on those 3 chords. But we talk about how to transpose each key, and we also talk about different ways to navigate all keys. And let me give you a quick, for instance, if you do this lick right here, you guys know, and something that we work on is you say this is a slide key for that one example. If I go up to D flat, I have to hammer on that minor third to major third. So now I'm here, hammering on. So you can't do the same fingering for that key, right? You have to hammer on if you're going to go to a different key to get that minor third to major third. Now that's a little bit more of an advanced concept, but my beginners and even intermediate players know what we're talking about because we've been doing this for a while, right? And you'll continue to do this. All of these basic fundamentals, whether you're a pro or you're an advanced player, you're doing this muscle memory, and repetition is your friend, as we often say. All right, let's go on to the next bass line, and we'll still review some of this stuff. So here's another one. We have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 and 1. So in our left hand we have 1, 5, 3, 2, 1, 2. And once again you say, where does the beat line up in the left hand? Now watch this together. 1 and 2 and notice that I'm playing it slow and straight right now. 1 and 2 and the E against the C. So it's really just like the one we just did, isn't it? 1 and 2 and 3. Now watch this. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So those last 3 beats, and 4 and 1 and 2, and I could play it kind of with that sort of, as I get to know the bass line and get familiar with it and repeat it, I can play it like it's written, where I go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, or I could do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and or I could do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. That's sort of the island groove, a little bit extended. But I like the first one. Now, the way you're going to get that sort of triplet and loose feel is doing exactly what I said here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And you could go as slow as you need to go, and you can also go left hand only. Maybe you spend a week going, all right, I have this bass line down, I'm going to do one other bass line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. All right, let me go back to the chat because I've been looking at the music as we've been teaching this, and I want to make sure I say hello to everybody. All right, so David, J-Man is in the house. J-Man is an All Access member. Good to see you. Awesome. Love it when J-Man gets in the house. Okay, so we have the slide or the hammer on. So what Rick said, and Rick knows almost all things. I mean, Rick is the Gandalf of iMusicAcademy. What he's saying is this: you have the slide key, or you have the hammer-on version, which is where you do 2 and 3. And by knowing and focusing on this one lick, you can go up here and play the first fingering. Slide keys are all going to be the same fingering. For the hammer-on key, you go 2, if you go up to D flat, for instance, you go 2, 3, 1. And you can even practice it just like that. I'm hammering on, and then I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to play the F sharp triad in second inversion, and then I'm going D flat without the third. And I get this down, I practice this really slowly. And just so we're clear, even in Blues Volume 1, I show you a kind of a bonus section, I remember, at the very end of the volume, of just showing you the 2 fingerings for all keys. And the way I like to practice this is you can practice the slide, and I'm doing it a little faster on purpose for time's sake, but you have this. So this is my second fingering. When I go to D, it's a hammer-on again. I can't slide on to that minor third to major third. I have to hammer on the key of D. E flat is the slide key. E is a hammer-on key, F is a slide. So you start to notice you can play almost anything with just 2 fingerings, and I think that's a really important skill. Okay, so as we learn this, the slide key, and you get that together, we're still focusing on the bass line. So let's go on to another bass line. That was a really fun one. Now this one right here is a little more challenging, and you guys say move on or go for it. This is number 3. And notice that I'm talking to you guys while I'm playing this, right? I'm just jabbering away while I'm practicing this. I could be drinking a cup of coffee like Vance is doing and still playing this bass line, which is a pretty difficult bass line. And the reason I can do it is not because I'm super talented, it's because I put in some muscle memory. And that's what I want you guys to do with all of these bass lines. Normally we would be using a metronome, but you have 5, 5, 4, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. And that's my fingering. 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 5, 1, 2. And just like with everything else, you can go slow and straight. Watch this. 1 and 2 and 3. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I have to figure out where the beats line up. 1 and that's easy, the first one. And now I go 2 and 1 and 2 and then I go 1 and 2 and 3. Okay? And right now I'm doing it kind of fast right now, but we only do a 35-minute lesson usually. I'm going to go till about 8:50 today because we need an extra 10 minutes to make up for the screen not working or the restart. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So notice that I'm playing it all slow and straight. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And once I spend time doing that, when I go to F, it's the same exact finger movement. And back to C, and still using that pedal trick. Now watch on G. And then once I get that, so muscle memory takes over there. So to kind of sum up this idea of even this one course is the way you lock up your hands and anything you're doing is you can play left hand only, right hand only, and I encourage both of those. But I also like the idea of slow and straight. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and sometimes you have to break it down even more like this. 1 and. Everybody can do that right there. 1 and then maybe this next part. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So that's the way I like for you guys to learn this stuff. Sometimes you break it down to 2 beats, 1 beat, whatever you do, and build some confidence. 1 and. That's a little bit more of a complex kind of lick, but as I said earlier, the muscle memory will kick in even on a lick like this, and then you could actually talk to your neighbor over the fence while you're playing this lick. Okay, so let's keep going down the list here. Let's do a few more of these. And if you're just now watching us, please know that I have, for non-members, you can go to my website and see that I've really done a crazy deal. I have my old courses of the blues. It's 4 volumes of blues. The first 3 volumes are this bass line with all the different licks. And all the cool licks that you love are in those 3 volumes. And then volume 4 is this groove with all of the cool licks from volume 4. Each volume is a digital book, just like you're looking at here. And so what I did is in a bundle, it's like $59, which is what our all access members play, they invest every month and they get everything, but you can get this bundle right now that has 6 courses. I added the alternate bass lines course in there this morning, so now you can get this as well. And I of course sent this to all of our members, so have no fear there. And we're going to go over a few more of these. We're actually going to go over all of them, but I'm telling you, this is the bundle you don't want to miss. A lot of you already have it, but the other course that's in there is our newest course, which is the 16 Sweet Licks. That's my new course on my favorite 16 licks from all 4 blues volumes. So right now, anyway, just go to the website, iMusicAcademy.com, and see if it's right for you. But Albi and Ami, they got it yesterday, and so I'm really excited to have them. And again, we always treat people who are hanging out and they want to check out to see if it's right for them. There are members until they're not. So here we go. This bass line right here is our straight up boogie. It's one of the boogie woogie bass lines. And I want to talk about how you get this right here. Everybody hears that bass line. And I want you to first know that this is, of course, we know the octave, right? And everybody, if you can, write octave in the chat just so I know that you guys are still with me and enjoying this. But as I played the octave, C up to C, that's a spacing, right? Like when I had all my musical training for classical music, I learned about octaves and how to play them, and you get the spacing down just like everything. But when you're going up to C, E, G, A, B flat, it's a little bit tricky at first. And the reason is because we have the span of the octave down. That's very comfortable for most of us. But watch this. When I go up here to E, I'm having to reset the spacing, okay? And so that's why you have to build muscle memory up as you do that. Yeah, J-Man and Rick understand that. They're saying octave. Yeah. Okay, so J-Man, as you're practicing this right here, we go C, E, G, A, B flat. I'm not like in a hurry to play this fast. I don't even want to play it fast anyway. But I'm getting this down. Now, from a visual standpoint, let's talk about what's happening. You have C, E, and G, which is the triad, and then you have the 6th note, and it goes up to the flat 7. And we know from all of our blues things that we do is we know that we love the 6th note in our blues, right? We also love the flat 7. Da, 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 da. Same thing as in our bass line. The 6th note and the 7th note, are flat 7, are really important notes. So as I'm practicing this, I'm just going 5-1 on everything. But again, this is the trick, and notice how I'm practicing this. I'm going to slow it down. C, and then my hand gets into place for the E, pinky gets into place, A, B flat. And as I play this, I'm really focusing, if I think about how I play things, in this case, I'm really focusing on the bottom note. The top note is almost automatic because we're used to playing the octave, right? If I said for you guys to play that right there, but if I want to, I can go, and then I get my pinky in place, and then I play that. If you understand that, put "got it" in the chat. Now think of this bass line as a work in progress, like something that you're going to spend time and just enjoy the process. As I do the right hand, I would do just like this, slow and straight. 1 and 1 and 2 and what you're going to love about a bass line like this is constant notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Slow and straight. Slow and straight. Kind of has that mess around feel, right? You see how I'm putting in the reps there? Let's do it slow and straight again. Sorry, I did that wrong. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... Yeah, you're building up some really awesome muscle memory as you get that going. All right, let's keep going down the list here. And I will be looking today for the next person who invested in the bundle, because I really want you guys to get this and enjoy these courses. In fact, Ami was really nice. He said he was off and running, he really liked the courses. So I'm very thankful for that. Always looking for the next person. And if you do invest, if somebody gets the bundle today, I'm going to do the same thing that I do for Ami, is that I'm going to treat you like a member for the next couple weeks, and you see if it's right for you. Most of the guys in our group, we have different ages and ranges, but most of my guys are retired, and girls, and I absolutely love that, and I love our community. It's awesome. So if you get the bundle and you're not a member, you're going to be a member for at least a couple weeks, and just see if it's right for you. So let's keep going down. We have a few more bass lines. If you guys can hang out a few more minutes, I want to finish this baseline group, and it is like a holiday week kind of, so maybe you can go an extra couple minutes. All right, so this next one right here is sort of that traditional bass line that everybody likes. Now, the reason sometimes I'll play it like this is demonstration, because you'll hear these really cool things of Oscar Peterson playing, and he's doing it double time like that, but that was Oscar Peterson. But what we're going to do is 5, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 1. Oh, I think Ami is at the dentist now. I was telling Ami, as I'm showing you this muscle memory that I'm building up, is exactly what I want you guys to do, even if I'm telling you a story. So Ami was on the way to the dentist, and I told him, I said, we actually have so many fun things we do at iMusicAcademy. Like, everybody gets their own song, everybody gets their own blues. We have our blues Bob song books. We also have our blues iMusicAcademy family songbook. And so I was trying to decide if I was going to do the no pain dentist blues. Like, he's going to the dentist, but he said it's one of those no pain days at the dentist, which I didn't even know that existed. All right, let me go back to our thing here. I want to get to the right one as we finish up today. Let's make sure I'm on the right one. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, so let's keep going down here. But he's either getting that blues, the no pain dentist blues, and there's another song. So we're gonna write a blues for Ami while he's hanging out with us. All right, let's go down to this one right here, and let me talk about this one more time. If you're lining this up, notice that once again it's even eighth notes, Rick. You have this idea of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So once you get off and running, it's good. You're good to go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, and then you put it together. Watch on F. Even when I go up to F, G, F, C. Let's do that one more time. So C is going to be the same. 5, 5, 1. And when I go to F, and the way I would even separate that even more is the first part is octave. Isn't that a fun way to do it? All right, now as we get to the bottom of this, we're going to add the Ray Charles bass line, which is actually not in this volume, but it will be in the next volume. Let me check the chat to make sure you guys are good. We're almost done, I promise. Okay, this next one is pretty doable for you guys. Is this right here? You have... Okay, we good? All it is a C triad, and I go minor third to major third. This really works the hand there. You have 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and slow and straight builds musical strength. Queen Vic is a poet, right? All right, everybody good on this one? Pretty easy. 5, and I go 3, 2. Now sometimes I'll see people do this. They go 3, 3, where they just use 3, 3, and I would like to know which one you guys like better, 3, 3, or 3, 2. When you go to F, it's the same thing. And that'll build up. Same thing goes. Watch. Okay, now a few more to go. We're done. The next one, I love this one. This is back to, remember how we had this one where you go C and we went up to the B flat? This one actually just does this. Triad, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now watch. 4 and. Now watch this. All right, let's keep going. You're doing great, everyone. Just visualize the C triad with the A there, and you're good to go. All right, this one, we're not going to spend time on this one, but this one does. So we go 5, 5, 1, 3, and then I think the fingering is wrong on that one. Actually, it's not wrong. It's 2 options. You have this. That one's a little more difficult, and it's kind of like this one. I don't want you to learn both of them at the same time because it'll confuse you. Okay, but it's still a nice bass line though. And let's do this one right here. You have 5, 3. So this is kind of Ray Charles-ish. Yeah, and this kind of sets us up for this. Now, for you guys at iMusicAcademy, know that one of the things I love to do, especially for my All Access members, is that I do workshops. Ray Charles, all these kinds of things. I also put the lessons in my courses, but you have this idea of, like, that's a Ray Charles kind of bass line. And there are ways to work up, to lock up the hands. And I do worksheets and all that on everything. So that's another fun thing when you're a member of iMusicAcademy. Tons of things that aren't even on the website, or every week you get PDFs. And everybody can vouch for that. You get tons and tons of awesome PDFs. All right, now watch this. 5, 3, 2, 1, 5. 2, 3, 4, and 1. And what this is teaching you is a syncopation, an offbeat rhythm. And your quarter notes, 5, 3, 2, 5, 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Isn't that a fun one? And 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and if I was going to practice one lick out of this volume and I wanted to do one lick at a time, I might want to do one of those. Either that one or this one, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And because that's such a fun lick or bass line, and that will set you up for the Ray Charles bass line. But when you practice it, you can go slow and straight. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And again, you have the training, so you just click on the icon. You want to go back and really learn these. You know that I teach at a snail's pace when I'm going through all these. All right, one more bass line and then one bonus and we're done. So this one's pretty easy. 5, 3, 1, 2, da, dum. I absolutely love this. When I'm teaching beginners or my jazz little prodigy kids, I do stuff like this. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. It's just a triad, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. Isn't that easy? All right, now notice that when I did this, it's just a triad, and I'm just doing 5, 3, 1. The same notes when I do this. Same exact thing, and all we're doing is changing the feel a little bit. 5, and I go 3, 1. Now, a guy like Doug, he's going to take these and run with them. Doug's doing great, and he's been keeping me up on his progress. In fact, Doug, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, you were telling us about how you've been flying through the courses and really enjoying those. So, Doug, I love to hear that. Anytime you guys are having success, or if you're struggling with something, you always get in touch with me and let me know, and we'll work through it. But we also want to celebrate the wins that we're having. This one right here, 5, 3, 1, is triad. And notice I go 5, 3, 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. And that's muscle memory. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, very good. Let's end by just going over the Ray Charles bass line. We can do that, right? So the what I'd say bass line that we want to learn is this one. Everybody type in bonus in the chat. Now you need to build up some muscle memory. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and so this idea of 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and so it's just 2 bass lines that you have to do, or 2 little variation. You're going to go beat 1 is a quarter note 1, and then the secret sauce, there are 2 little secret sauce, is this idea of 2 and, Rick. You have 1, 2 and that's what trips people up. You got to make sure you got 2 and 1, 2 and then watch beat 3, 3, 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. That's right. Rick says the extra note, the 8th note on beat 2, 1, 2 and. Rick's got it. Now, exactly how I just practiced that. 1, 2 and. That's going to give you success right there. 1, 2 and 3. Because our hands aren't like, that's not a natural thing to think of 2 and. And so we're building up muscle memory. 1, 2 and this quarter note 3 and then 4 and. That's the next thing that trips everyone up. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, let's work on that. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Okay. Yeah, that's right. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right, now all we have to do is lock up the hands. Here we go. 1 and 2 and. All right, now what happened there? I went 1 and 2 and. All right, my G went there 1 and 2 and. So the F chord is where this happens, the beat 2. 1 and and notice that 2 and. All right, that's going to help us out. 1 and 2 and 3. All right, that's a safety right there. I'm on the B flat with a B flat on top, and now I know I'm in the right place. 1 and 2 and 3 and I get a break. I get the C by itself. 1 and 2 and 3 and now watch this. 4 and back to that F chord, and I get the octave. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and now I'm going to go snail's pace. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And just so we're clear, the second time you do the bass line, there's not the anticipation. So you have this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And once you go to F, you'll be pleased to know this is the same exact thing. 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Same thing on G. It's G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I have to go back to the F, down to the F, because we're doing one measure at a time there. So G, F, and then the last, but let me play it and then I'll give you the very last bonus. All right, so this idea of locking those hands up, you're going to get it if you do this kind of sound. 1 and then. Okay, so the last thing is this. Here's your extra bonus. In your right hand, give me a little Ray Charles right there. Right? We work on this in our course, 20 tips for 5-minute practice success. Like, what do you do? Another one of my favorite courses is if you don't know what to practice and you only have 5 or 10 minutes, it gives you 2 measure phrases. Ray Charles is in that book. And what we talk about is like the minor third. If you play What I'd Say, the original line is this. And it does the 5th. And we're not going to go into the way to actually play that fingering, but your quick tip is you have finger 2, and you get used to 3, like a down-home fingering, right? You slide down. Now, Vance is going to tell me that I'm going to get a copyright strike even for playing that, but you get the idea. What's nice about that is you can go on the 5th, and thank you, Doug, for the awesome lesson feedback. I have one assignment that I need you guys to do. You can also use this lick on the 3rd. So there's the 5th. You can also use it on the 3rd, the minor 3rd. And it just is a little fun thing you can do is practice your minor 3rd sliding down with your 3rd finger. All right, here's what you can do for me. So several of you who are not even members and several of you who are members have reached out to me, and you tell me the success you're having and everything. One thing you could do is to go to iMusicAcademy.com and rate this bundle for me. When I say rate it, just your experience of the material and being a part of iMusic Academy, because it is true that in order to grow, you guys know this, it's important to get some feedback, and like people like reviews, and I don't want any fake reviews for sure. But like when I go to iMusic Academy, hold on a second. Try that again. iMusicAcademy.com, and you go to courses. I'm going to show you how to do this. And if you go right here to, it's not even a, it's updated. Here it is. I had to refresh. But it says all 6 courses at iMusicAcademy.com. I have 0 reviews on that. And I have a bunch of our new courses that we don't have any reviews on it. And it's not because it's not that I think people are not enjoying the content. It's just that we don't think about writing reviews for people at times. And I know everybody's busy. But if you click on this right here, and if you have the courses, all you have to do is go to leave a review. And let me see if I even know how to do it. Where's the leave a review? Maybe it's that you have to have, maybe I don't even know how to do it anymore. I promise there's a way to do it. Let me see. Oh, I got it. If you go down here where the reviews are, this should be clickable. And you know what? I'll have to reach out to my web guy. Let me just see. Well, this is good for me to know. All right, well, don't leave me a review because I have no idea how to do it. Very interesting. All right, the good news is the course is ready to go. For anybody who wants those courses, all 6 courses, iMusicAcademy.com. I'll do it for today and tomorrow, and I'm adding the blues bassline course. All 6 courses. It ends up being a crazy deal. And that's all I got to say about that. But everybody go practice this other stuff. And now you're going to get to say goodbye to each other. So you have time. Awesome, David. Good to see you. Say goodbye to each other. All right, hold on. Doug says, click on the picture of the course, then scroll down. Let's try that really quickly. Click on the picture. Okay, I'm clicking on the picture. Oh, which picture? And then it says scroll down to comments. Yeah, but I don't know how you leave a comment, because that's the problem. I don't know how you're gonna leave unless I'm missing something. I could be missing something, but it needs to be easier regardless. Now, the content delivery is very simple. When somebody gets the courses, just so we're clear, you immediately get all the courses, all these digital courses that we're going through, just like the blues thing. They're all there, and it's already set up. I even says you get the new 16 sweet licks, you get the all 6 courses for $59.99. And I'll do it for today and tomorrow, and I hope that somebody else gets it. And if you do get it, I'm going to let you do what we've been doing. I've been going live for our non-members, and our community has been cool with that. So we're going to do that for a little while. All right, so yeah, you guys say goodbye to each other, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the 4th. We won't do a Chord Academy lesson, but I will probably do some kind of email out with some cool material. All right, so Doug says click on Blues Volume 1 pick. Yeah, scroll down to reviews. All right, so if you're able to figure that out and you click on the thing and leave a review, that would be very helpful. And another way you can be helpful is to make sure you like this video and then go practice and have fun. It's good to see all of you, and I want to just give my shout outs as well. JD, good to see you. Vicky, good to see you. My dad was on first, and we had to restart. So, Dad, good to see you as well. Vicky, Vance, we've got Rick, of course. We've got Jeffrey, who was able to show up. We've got J-Man in the house. Love it when J-Man's here. And Rick, let's see. I was hoping that Hugh was going to be able to drop in. Not sure. But I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. You guys are awesome. And a shout out to our YouTube community. We're growing. See you soon, everyone. Good job. Sorry for the last minute